Oh my goodness, hello everybody, welcome back to Bad Movie Book Club. It has been, oh my goodness, over a year? Oh man. And right off the bat, I'd like to apologize to everybody. We had some big plans coming up here after the end. We had this whole big March Madness thing coming up. There was going to be all sorts of crazy movie reviews, and it was going to be a showdown. And it just turned into a big mess, and then life got in the way. A lot of details that you probably aren't interested about, but the important thing is that we are back, and there has been some changes around here at BMBC Towers. First and foremost, my good friend and co-host Liam will be taking a bit of a hiatus. We don't know for how long, or if he might even come back, but you never know. We'll hold out hope for him. But in the meantime, I have found a new group of guests to help join and dissect these wonderful pieces of cinema with us. Their names are Matt and Seth. I think you'll like them. And we've been doing a lot of behind the scenes work to make sure that this huge break in time doesn't happen again. So hopefully you'll be getting much more wonderful reviews and suggestions for awful movies that you should or should not go see from here on out. So hopefully everything will work in order. I'm looking forward to starting off fresh and renewed. Hopefully you and all enjoy it too. And without further ado, let's jump into it.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a plane!
It's nothing short of a masterpiece.
The head is one big pile of shit.
Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of Bad Movie Book Club. As I wave my hands around, because
that translates well to a podcast.
It does.
They can see you. We can see you.
Yeah.
Guys, I can't see me.
Just don't worry. We'll have like a gesture, a narrator be like, he waves his arms around. I point to Seth.
Hi. That's me.
Since we're off to such a great start, why don't we introduce the cast? I am your host and moderator, Drew. I am joined today by the wonderful Matt.
Hello.
And Seth.
Hey.
How's it going, fellas?
Going well.
So out of my ballpark, it's great. What is it? The actual expression.
I don't know.
I sure do.
You're going for.
I sure do appreciate sports as much as the next guy, but I'm
off to a great start.
Great start, yes. So today's podcast is brought to you by the lovely techno party that's happening downstairs from BMBC Towers.
I like to think that they're playing the music from Chopping Mall.
Yes. Speaking of which, I just invited you gentlemen to suffer through a glorious piece of schlock for us for the Oktoberfest that is Bad Movies.
That was not something I suffered through. That was glorious.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So
I live for this.
I'm just thinking of all those Alpha 5s and the children they murdered.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
So before we get too spoilery, I'll have to throw up a spoiler warning here because I don't want to ruin it for the lovelies out there. But before we get too spoilery, immediate reactions, would you definitely recommend go out and at least rent?
You don't even think about it. They just released this movie on Blu-ray. Watch Chopping Mall. It's amazing.
Buy the Blu-ray. This, of all the things that deserve to be remastered and released on Blu-ray, this also got that treatment.
I love it. So, a little history to this movie. It was originally released as Killbots. So that can kind of give you a bit of an idea as to what this might entail. And I guess it didn't work the first time around, so they repackaged it, put a pretty bow on it, and called it Chopping Mall. And of course, because puns sell, it did much better.
There wasn't much chopping.
Yeah, there really wasn't, actually.
But I guess Laser Explosion Mall doesn't really have the same ring to it.
No, there's a lot of pinching.
Pinchy Mall.
Pinch Mall. Pinch bots.
I would watch Pinch Bots.
Pinch bots, yeah.
I don't even know what Pinch Bots would be.
I imagine they would be a lot of the same, actually, because they came equipped with, like, these 4 little, like, you know those robo-grabbers you can get at Toys R Us?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these had those stupid little T-Rex arms, but for robots.
They were more like celebration arms. They were just like, yay, murder!
Yeah, but they moved beyond that really fast.
Okay, okay, so before we get too much farther into it, let's go ahead and call spoiler warning right here.
Warning, the spoiler gate is being activated. If you do not wish to receive spoilers, please turn off the show now. Warning, the spoiler gate is being activated. If you do not wish to receive spoilers, please turn off the show now. Warning, the spoiler gate is being activated. If you do not wish to receive spoilers, please turn off the show now. Warning, the spoiler gate is being activated. If you do not
Spoiler
wish to
warning,
receive
I was thinking of the word wheelhouse. This is out of my wheelhouse.
Ah,
There you
okay.
go. You did it.
Nice.
Spoiler warning, it's out of his wheelhouse.
This did not take place in a wheelhouse, though. It took place in a shopping mall.
Awesome.
Or is it a shopping mall?
There was no chopping.
Dun, dun.
Plenty of robots, plenty of lasers, no chopping.
I saw nary an axe the entire time.
No.
You'd think someone would try to take them out. Now, before we talk too much about specifics, should we give a brief overview of what this is?
Maybe we should
absolutely.
go like
Absolutely.
scene by scene, because this is a movie that
Now,
really
okay.
builds.
It is, but I think a brief overview might be a good idea. Some idiots are in a mall and there are killer robots.
That's it.
That's it. That's
That
the
is-
plot.
That is as deep as this rabbit hole goes. Good podcast, guys. I'll see you next week.
All right,
it's been fun.
awesome.
Cool. No, but so the thing I love about it, right from the very beginning, the movie pulls a psych ending within the first 5 minutes?
It's definitely like very, very brief, in which for some reason someone's dramatically shot getting taken down. And this is like a glory PSA for like the robots, not a PSA, an advertisement.
Yeah. They were trying to sell these robots to the shopping mall, and this terrible ad somehow did it.
Well, the great thing about the ad is that it is kind of shot like a horror movie. They shoot the robot from like down below, and like the robber is like frantically trying to escape, and you feel sorry for the guy as he's getting taken down. And then it like cuts to someone going, how about that, huh?
It really might be the most emotionally affecting part of the entire movie.
You're like, no, that guy just wanted those jewels.
I don't know. From the way that I saw it, it kind of looked to me like they had already sold it to the mall. So really what it was just like a, here is how you get hyped video to the mall staff.
This is what you have to rot.
Which, by the way, like, can I just point out that the mall staff are some of the most ignorant and just insensitive people that could be drummed up by the 80s ever?
Are you talking about the people that were in the audience during that the showing of that film?
Yes, yes.
Because if either they were investors or mall staffers, they were so snippy and weird.
They weren't decent human beings. Like, I would be... the way they talked was such that I would be concerned for their well-being offset. Like, that's not how humans do.
Okay, but to be fair, the middle robot looked a bit ethnic.
No, it was uncomfortably ethnic.
Uncomfortably ethnic.
I don't know, Mary. The one in the middle has an unpleasantly ethnic quality.
I don't know what that
sorry.
guy's problem was.
Now, to preface this, the only distinction between these robots, all these robots look the same.
They're all Alpha 5 from Power Rangers.
Yes, except that they're put on a little scooter track.
They still look more dignified than Daleks.
I will fight you, sir.
They could go upstairs, so they are more advanced.
Daleks can fly. We're getting off topic. Getting off topic. Point being, they all look exactly the same. The only thing that they had that was different from each other is that they were labeled 1, 2, and 3. And they were on display, thusly, on the stage. And the woman, or no, not the woman, it was the guy, says, that one in the middle, so that's robot number 2, looked, and I quote, uncomfortably ethnic.
You should just splice that in there, because it's weird.
I just
and
might.
the woman agrees. She's like, yeah, Like, no, you can't agree.
Like, there's what? What? How does what?
There is actually one more marked difference between the robots, and that is they have different colored lasers.
That's right.
That's true, they do.
Only 1 and 2 seem to have lasers, though. I'm getting way ahead of myself.
Yeah. So maybe if you're labeled with an even number and your lasers happen to be blue, that makes you uncomfortably ethnic.
I don't like it. It's uncomfortable.
Ain't right. Ain't right.
Ain't right, no.
Nope.
Hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, so immediately after this all takes place, there's like this press conference, and which, by the way, what this really is this is setting up the premise for the whole show. It's like, here's what these robots are. Sorry, I pronounced that wrong. Here's what these robots are, and here's what
the robots.
They were definitely robots. They were not robots. Robots with the U.
They also established one other security feature of the mall, which is like the future space doors made of solid titanium.
Yeah, so just imagine like if the Star Trek doors were shaped more like a second grade puzzle pieces and just made out of like 1/4-inch steel. No one's getting in or out between the hours of midnight and dawn.
So, I know we're supposed to suspend our disbelief for all this, but in your estimation, between the robots, 3 robots.
I'm sorry, the what?
The robots.
Oh, okay.
Between the 3 robots, the computer console that runs it, the what seemed to be like 10 solid titanium metal doors. Do you think those things are worth more than everything in the mall combined? Like, they're protecting beds, jewelry, and paint.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. That security system is worth more than the entire rest of the mall put together.
I think it's worth more than like NASA at the time.
It's certainly worth more than all of the people at the presentation.
Like, if one of those robots
because all of those people were terrible human beings.
They were. I can only imagine like what that mall was really hiding if they felt the need to put that much security in there. Like, it felt like there was like a subtext to the movie that we were missing.
I'm pretty sure it was all the spare car parts that were in the closet in the hallway. It was definitely the spare car parts.
What?
See, I think they were defending the paint.
You were defending the paint?
It was the paint.
Well, and paint's that flammable.
Yeah. They shouldn't have equipped the robots with a way of blowing up the paint.
Yeah, like, that's true. Like, that would have been a definite work risk. But anyway, getting ahead of ourselves. So yeah, so then we cut back to a scene of the supercomputer that's controlled by a man named Simon, who will later be named Marty for unknown reasons. And I believe his name is Marty posthumously, right?
Yeah, he only got a name in death. Or even worse, maybe he just forgot his name. He's like, oh, that dead guy, what's his name? I don't know.
Marty, yeah, but yeah, so he dies, spoiler. And then we immediately cut to...
He died as he lived, awkwardly looking at pornography.
Awkwardly looking at pornography, and then getting snipped in the throat with the little celebration clause. I love the robot's designs, by the way. Like, I wish I had a picture of it in front of me, because I'm only going off of memory. They had Alpha 5's head from, like, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then, like, 4 sets of robot claws, which only seem to, like, extend upward and do these little, like, celebration clamps. But there's 4 sets of them, and they can extend all the way into, like, throat grabbing and destroying, like, range.
Yeah, I don't know why you would design the claws to be able to cut a throat. Like, it looks like they're meant to be grabbers, but somehow they're able to cut flesh, despite clearly being thick and rubbery.
I think it's the retractable razor blades that are in between them.
See, that makes sense.
I bet that was the scene that was left out on the cutting room floor.
Yet another feature that
like nobody's gonna spot
the chopping
this.
room floor.
Yeah. Also, in the demonstration for the robots, the guy's like, it's so easy. You just show the robot your identity. He holds his identity in front of the robot for what feels like a solid minute. And the robot's like, not sure. It's like red flag number 1.
Now, I do want to question something.
Okay.
These robots are designed to navigate a mall.
Yeah.
Why do they need tread?
Just
what terrain are they crossing that requires tread rather than wheels?
I think they just didn't want to like leave tracks on the carpet, on the nice carpet. I'm going with that.
Yeah, maybe. But maybe it's like the same sort of design idea that they had with the lasers, where it's like whatever. We put lasers on this thing. Let's make it more like a tank.
I mean, they did put boom boxes inside them that play music whenever they approach.
Yeah, so maybe
So I'm not going to question the intelligence of the design team too much here.
yeah, well, we should probably address that. So it was pointed out by Seth as we were watching this. There's a wonderful electronica score happening at all the time, which is really just a bunch of beeps and boops. But it fades in as we see the robots turning a corner, and it fades out whenever we see a robot leave. So clearly that means that the music is coming from the robots. And yet our protagonists, who we haven't even gotten to yet, because who are they?
They're like 8 killable teenagers.
Yeah, if this movie has one downside, and I'm not sure that it does, but if it does, it's that there's not enough personality to these characters.
Oh.
And that's a problem when one of them is played by Barbara Crampton.
I don't know. I think there's personality aplenty to go around, and I know exactly which stereotype is which from the first scene.
Okay, now hold on.
Yeah.
I would just like to clarify that chewing gum does not constitute a personality.
We need to give these characters names, because there's 4 men and 4 women.
Now, they do have names. I would like to clarify that.
Right. Brett Chugum.
Okay, now his name was Michael.
Right.
And that's the only one I can remember. No, there was a Linda in there somewhere.
There was a Linda,
And
there was a Susie.
There's a Susie.
Yes, Susie Q.
Susie Q. I think one of them's name was Michael, or did you just say that?
I did. I
Oh,
did
yeah,
just say.
that really, they have wonderful, memorable characters in this movie.
Yeah, Chad Hairfeather, who you call Brett Chugum,
Well, no,
is
obviously
Michael.
Brett Chugum. He's the one that's always chewing gum.
Yes.
There's the guy with the overbite and the constant smile. And then I think there was a guy with like feathered hair, and then there was the nerd.
The nerd. Yes, the nerd / obvious virgin, who was one of the 2 protagonists of this.
I am shocked that his glasses were not held together by tape.
Oh, at some point he should have lost his glasses in a scuffle.
Well, you have to understand, it was made in the 80s. It was a very progressive time.
Sure it was. They had uncomfortably ethnic robots.
I mean, Revenge of the Nerds just came out.
Oh, it was a progressive time for nerds. They got to transcend above being awful, which is another message that is awful. But, like, I don't even know what to make of the nerd, because at one point he, like, sort of tries to reinvent himself in a mirror, and he's like, no, that ain't me. And he just, like, goes in as himself to this fuck party.
Right, so that's the premise of this story is, okay, so we have this new security setup, which happens coincidentally during the first night of operation of these robots.
Okay.
And not only that, but it's like a thunderstorm out?
Well, here's the thing about that. I'm actually not certain that this is the first night that the robots were around, because both the janitor and Brett Chugum were like, oh, we gotta bring our ID. Like, they're already tired of this. Like, oh, this is a routine. We gotta show the robots our ID.
No, see, I thought the implication there was that this was the first time they'd had to deal with it. They're like, oh, this shit.
Yeah, like it was sort of like, I kind of chalked it up to like, when the chip cards first started coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not sure which store you have to do the chip and which one you still have to swipe.
Yeah,
and it's
even
just
when you do the chip, it's like, did I do it right? No, you did it right. You did it right. Like, the hassle.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. It was just clearly like, this is a new thing, and I don't like it, but I have to do it because it's my job.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought it was. So, but yeah, so I guess because the nerd's uncle owned this shop in the mall that they were all working in, that they were going to have this major party, and he was going to be basically the keys to their gateway of their dreams.
We should talk about the mall a little bit, because the stores in there were like, there was a store that was only for almonds, and it wasn't a kiosk, it was a full store. It was called House of Almonds. There was a clothing store that, like, in the window, there was, like, you can watch it. It's Monopoly. Like, a few things in there were a monopoly. They had like a big blown up board that just showed like Park Place and Boardwalk, and then like don't go to jail or whatever. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, so a little more context to the story. It's my understanding that this movie was made very much on the cheap. And so
it doesn't show.
There's a lot of broken glass.
But because of that, they had to pull in a lot of favors. Apparently, one of which was that the director knew somebody who owned a mall, a little local mall somewhere out in the middle of California. I'm sure I will edit in which mall that is in post. But if somebody out there in internet land could just tell us if that mall is still around, or better yet, if those stores are still there, because there's some weird stuff in that mall.
I guarantee you that mall is no longer there. Like, the mall in which the Blues Brothers drove their car through that closed down like 10 years ago. Like, this mall didn't stand a chance. They had a place that only sold almonds.
Matt, I want to believe.
You think that we could
Don't crush my dreams on this.
We could like stage a field trip to the chopping mall? Like, I was like, oh, this is where they killed that one robot, and this is where the girl's butt got shot.
This is the exploding paint store.
Oh, are you looking it up whether or not that mall is there?
I sure am.
Oh man.
So while we're looking into that for you, all two of you listeners out there in podcast land, why don't we keep the story going a little bit? So naturally, in these sexy parties, as one wants to do as an angsty young teen with a mall job, I think there's 4 couples in total.
There are 4 couples in total. 4 guys, 4 girls. And the girls are pretty interchangeable except for the nerdy girl.
The nerdy girl, I would say the nerdy girl, and also the angsty sexaholic.
There was like 3 angsty sexaholics. Like,
well, but this one clearly like held the role of angsty sexaholic because she has to die first, even though she doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like the only thing of the other girls that I ever really like committed to memory is one of them screamed like a lot. Susie screamed like a lot.
In her defense, she also was on fire.
She wasn't on fire yet, but she certainly screamed less when she was on fire. Like that calmed her down a bit.
Fire cures Wadalia.
Yeah.
It's just like Confucius says. You give a lady a fire, you keep her warm for an afternoon. You set a lady on fire, you keep her warm for the rest of her life.
For the rest of the movie.
That mall is still there.
What?
It is the Sherman Oaks Galleria.
Where?
Whoa.
Also known as a location for Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
No, really?
Yep.
So this mall
this is really important. Do they still have a World of Almonds there?
Do they still have a paint store there?
I'm going back in.
You're going into you're like, I need to look at the Sherman Oaks website. What places are open? Can I still buy assault rifles?
We get into the journalism that matters most to you here.
Yeah.
BMBC Towers.
This is the inside scoop for Chopping Mall. If you ever wondered what happened to that mall.
Well, they do have a T-Mobile store. I don't think that was there in
No.
That was
mall.
probably what that Crush Groove stand turned into.
Oh, yeah.
Could be. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Crush Groove. I have no idea what they sell there.
And by the way, that is Crush with a K.
Yeah.
Crush Groove.
They either sell music or smoothies. Or both? I have no idea.
Musical smoothies.
Musical smoothies. All the rage in the 80s. No, like, so to preface the premise of the film in which these 4 couples actually are? You might want to fill this in for me because I got lost a bit. So, Brett Chugum goes into the Monopoly store and just immediately starts, like, almost fucking the girl working there. Like, he gets really, really touchy.
Yeah,
like, uncomfortably touchy. Like, and it turns out her dad is, like, mere feet away, and he's just like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna get up in that tonight. And the dad's like, get up in what? What are you children talking about?
I don't understand, and I'm angry because I'm her father. Explain this to me.
Yeah, and Brett Chugum is like, oh, we're going to a party tonight. And,
No. It wasn't Brett Chugum. It was
The Overbite?
it was his love interest, the girl who was like,
Yeah, it was the girl who
It's
brought
like-
up the party.
sweetie, you just chew your gum. I'll explain to my daddy because I can do no wrong.
We're going to Sherry's birthday party, so there's nothing weird going on here, Daddy.
And like, meanwhile, like Brett Chugum is like just kind of
Chewing gum.
chewing gum, but getting real handsy with his daughter, like right in front of him. Like they're making no secret. It's like, yeah,
Look,
you know,
at that point, who could he fool?
I don't know, but the dad seemed to be like disapproving while still being like, well, what are you gonna do? And then it like mash cuts to them in a furniture store in the mall. Like,
That was strange.
Yeah.
That furniture store in general was
well,
strange.
the thing that was real weird is that it showed like a bunch of people in cars. I thought people were leaving the mall, and then they like ended up in this place with furniture, and I'm like, oh, okay, this must be someone's house. And then it became clear that this wasn't someone's house, and it was just like four couples. Just how do you describe this party? Because they're literally fucking.
Yeah, so the best way I could describe this is basically the premise of the story is nerdy kid works for his uncle in this furniture store. He agrees because he basically gets buffaloed into it to host a party there without his uncle's knowing, and they try and pay him back by hooking him up with nerdy virgin girl, who, spoiler, is going to be the other protagonist in this film. And I guess they hit it off because they're the only two there that don't seem to be concerned purely with sex.
Well, you need to set it up at least somewhat.
They hit it off in an 80s protagonist way.
Okay.
So
So they're dancing, and by dancing I mean like writhing around in time with the music while simultaneously tongue wrestling their respective partner.
aggressively.
Yes, there were some points where I may have been worried that the robots wouldn't have gotten to rip their faces off in time because they were too busy sucking it off of each other.
Yeah, I think that was one of the strangest scenes in which they're like sucking mad face, and one of the robots just patrols by the window like, oh,
Nothing to see here.
nothing to see here.
Those kids,
Those-
poop.
Yeah, we can't see people making out. See, they should have done that. That confuses the robot.
Wait, have we brought up yet what made the robots evil?
Oh no, we made slight reference to it.
Okay, so there was a thunderstorm
Yes.
and lightning struck
Yes.
something.
They made it apparent. It struck the computer on the roof.
Well, yes, but we never really saw that. We just saw some lightning and then cut to computer, and they're crazy now.
right.
We didn't really see a thing get hit by lightning.
But I think we were able to imply, because at the front they're like, "Oh yeah, this is a very secure system. We put the computer on the roof for lightning's sake."
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying we never actually see the lightning strike something to bring them to evil life.
But we did see
Which is usually
see the supercomputer burning the toast, though.
That's true. But that's usually the kind of money shot you want for a story like this.
You want it to lie.
You turn something evil with lightning. You want to see the lightning hit something, but we just kind of see a lightning storm and then they're evil.
Well, naturally.
Yes, but that was so disappointing. I wanted the lightning to hit something.
Sure.
I wanted a stupid, cheesy lightning effect. Because we got them elsewhere, so they clearly knew how to do that.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Rest in peace, Dick Miller,
Dick Miller.
2016.
Oh man, he got it raw. So Dick Miller is the first to go, isn't he?
No.
Oh
it's-
no,
it's
that
Marty.
was that's
It's-
right.
Yeah, it was Marty.
Yeah, it was Marty.
Right through the porno mag.
Right through the porno mag. For computer technician, and then computer technician number 2 is like,
He doesn't even get a name.
no, he
right
doesn't.
through the porno mag is actually one of my favorite Spinal Tap albums.
Like, after 3 goons that work at the mall get it,
We just kind of hard jump cut back to this party where it has been taken to the bedroom room display.
There are beds and couches,
and they
scattered
are
about.
being utilized.
Yeah, it's fun because they put like full sheets in those things.
They are getting tested, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Boobies,
there
boobies everywhere.
There are people fucking on that furniture in the mall, if you know what I mean.
I don't. No, it's fun because it goes from like couple number 1 and they have a little exchange and they start fucking, and then it goes to couple number 2 and they have a little exchange and then they start fucking, and then like it does this 3 times and then it goes to the 4th couch in which there is a TV that for some reason has an old sci-fi movie on.
Yes, it's the old classic Attack of the Crab Monsters.
Which looks outstanding.
It does. It looks like it was lifted straight out of the 50s, because it was. Black and white. They have like the big animatronic puppet things from when they were trying to compete with the kaiju films out in Japan. It's
Never show a movie with better effects in your movie with crappy effects. I'm sorry. The robots run around with their arms outstretched like crabs.
come at me, bro. Come at me,
Maybe
bro.
that was a thing.
I almost wonder now if that was an
homage.
intentional,
Yeah.
an intentional thing.
Yeah,
Them
they're like robot crab
running
monsters.
around with their stupid little grabby claws out.
Yeah, they were kind of like crab robots in a way, but they had like too many arms. It's
Crab robot.
crab robots. Sorry, I'm bad with this terminology. But no, like, so they're watching this horror movie, The Nerd and the Virgin, and like, in the middle of them having a conversation, you just hear these loud sex moans, and they're like, "Oh, what are you gonna do?"
oh baby, you're the king. You're the king.
Oh God.
I know.
Don't splice that in because it's real like like
It's
and they're just like, oh, those guys.
is it just me? I don't know. Maybe this is like an 80s thing. Would it be weird to like fuck mere feet from your friends?
I mean, it's weird to fuck mere feet from your friends in a shopping mall.
Well, we've already passed that premise. Like it's already to the
No,
point.
no, we're not past that.
We're not past that. We're gonna laser focus on the fact that they decided to do this in a mall.
That is the core part that's weird here, as far as I'm concerned.
it's
Like people getting crazy at a party. That's whatever. It's weird. It's especially weird with how blasé these virginal characters are about it. Usually, you'd expect them to be a bit more uncomfortable, given their characterization. But whatever, I can accept that. What I can't accept is that they're doing this at the mall, and they seem perfectly comfortable with it.
surely this has to be for some other reason than we had to save a quick buck, and this was the cheapest venue we could find.
There are cheaper venues to shoot a sex scene. You don't need a mall for that.
I imagine like
Great Outdoors. For
Imagine,
example.
Of the
imagine
8
if a
people-
mall was the cheapest place to shoot sex scenes. Porn would be so strange.
well, the same good
and,
closed.
and strangely full of product placement.
Well, I guess that's what would pay for it.
Establishing shot, Babbage's. No, I loved.
Yeah, girl. Let me tell you about Red Bull.
This Bang Bus brought to you by Starbucks.
Let me tell you about the contracts you'll get at T-Mobile. Starts unbuttoning glasses. It's great, but cut short because someone has to get cigarettes.
Right. So I was. Thank you for the segue. I was about to move us along, and then I realized that the rest of the movie is just different scenes of people getting killed for various reasons of being stupid.
We've covered the entirety of the plot.
It's they get picked off one by one. The first of which is Brett Chugum, because of course his wonderful bitchy lover says, well, after we're done with the coitus, then you don't get any pleasure. You have to go buy me cigarettes at the machine downstairs.
But Drew, there were camels in the store.
It doesn't matter because she only smokes Virgin Lights.
I thought it was Virginia Slims.
No.
Virgin Lights.
Virgin Lights.
Virgin Lights. Yeah. Brett,
Do you get it?
I do.
So Brett Chewgum goes out to get the cigarettes and spends an inordinate amount of time checking himself out in the vending machine, just adjusting his hair, making sure he looks perfect,
Well,
and chewing that fucking gum. I swear to God, it was driving me nuts.
it
because
had to be
you-
extra because the amount he was chewing there's no way it could have lasted any other way. It had to be extra.
You could hear it constantly. I hate the sound of people chewing gum, and that's all this character was. I was so glad to see him die.
Yeah.
And die first. It was almost as if they were making you root for the robots from the beginning.
I was.
He
I
struggled.
absolutely
And
was.
It worked.
The robots were entertaining me, and the characters were not. It was great.
Well, it was weird because they tried to add extra tension by making him struggle with the change or something. He muttered a bunch of stuff under his breath this machine doesn't take change. What are you talking about?
I think it was supposed to be the machine was $1.25, but he only brought $1.
Oh,
Which, by the way, can we just have an aside? A pack of cigarettes for $1.25?
the 80s. It was easy to be a smoker back then.
I know. Before cancer was a thing,
Ah, dang, cancer.
the Marlboro Man could just roll free across the desert landscape.
Didn't
The
even
80s were a magical time.
Indeed.
just sell almonds in a store. And paint. But no, so angry because Brett Chugum gets it. I can't even remember how he gets
Sleep
it.
Sleep dart, and then while he's asleep, they give him the robot pinchy across the throat.
Yeah, robot crab claw.
Which is really strange. Knocking someone out before killing them is a really odd way to off someone in a horror movie.
Well, I don't know. I think they were just looking for an excuse to use the sleep darts because that's the only time it gets used in the entire film.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so that was the sleep dart, not the electricity shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the dart, which is why there wasn't a
Okay.
thing behind it.
Mm.
But here's the part that weirded me out. The robot repositioned him.
Yeah.
Why?
For dramatic effect, because wouldn't you know it, the bitchy temptress would come out when she wasn't getting her smokes in a prompt and orderly fashion.
I want my cigarette.
Don't be an ass.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then she just shakes his dead body for a while before realizing he's dead. It's really kind of beautiful how long it takes her to realize that he's dead. Oh, you're being such a jerk. You're asleep. She shakes him and bangs his head against the wall. He doesn't move. Ugh, you're not even waking up. I can't believe this.
That's right. She was like, "Oh, you're such a sleepy puss," and it only took for his neck to fire blood at her face, where she's like, "Oh my gosh, something is awry."
And then this brings me to quite possibly my favorite part of the movie, the lasers.
I didn't know the robot shot lasers.
It was in the informational presentation at the beginning, but we were too busy making fun of all the terrible people in the audience because they truly were that terrible.
We were trying to figure out how a robot could be ethnic.
That's true. That too.
The lasers just make me so happy. I almost don't have anything else to say. These are robots with treads and stupid little grabby paws that shoot lasers out of their eyes. What in a movie called Chopping Mall? It's delivering.
Yeah.
What more could you want at this point?
Well, and the thing I love about it too is they're the prototypical 80s lasers. They have their own physics as per the needs of the scene they're portrayed in. You know.
Oh yeah, I mean,
They're definitely going pew pew.
Yeah, they're going pew pew.
These-
Other times they're streaming. There's no angle of trajectory. It's just they go straight from the view panel to wherever they need to go.
These lasers are beautiful. They are unique to each robot. Which-
unique to each shot.
Well, I mean that's the case for all of them, but I mean the colors are unique to each robot.
Yeah.
Which might be the way that robot number 2 was ethnic.
Yeah, his was
Clearly, it was the blue lasers.
It was the
Yes,
blue lasers.
I mean, as we all know, blue is an ethnic color.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But what really gets me is their strength. how strong are these lasers? Can they make things explode, or can they bounce off a girl's butt?
Well, maybe it was like a locket situation that like absorbs a bullet because on her butt, prominently displayed is a little Playboy bunny, and that happens to be exactly where a laser shot, hit her, and then bounced right off.
Now, to clarify, these lasers were wrecking a store. They were shooting through wood. Pillows were exploding.
Fine
Because-
china up in smoke everywhere.
Just chaos is happening all around our
It
actors.
shot the chain of a chandelier that fell down.
But that butt
that butt
though.
got out without a scratch.
Yeah, impatient cigarette lady went and checked her boyfriend wearing a like tied off shirt and these high waisted panties and just ran away from the robot, and it was like harrowing for her, but the camera was focused on her butt.
Well, I mean, clearly with physics like that, where it comes in with built-in laser deflection, it was a scientific curiosity. Clearly,
Yeah.
Just as an aside, you brought up the chandelier that got knocked off the chain.
yes.
I thought it was very strange that they would shoot that and then not show it crashing and hitting the ground, which is another case of setting up an obvious money shot and then just forgetting.
Again, they were on a budget. Maybe they only had the one prop and
Yeah.
and one camera, so they couldn't like do it again after it had already broken.
They were destroying everything else.
Yeah, but maybe that chandelier was too expensive, so they actually like had a little net that they caught the chandelier in. Like they didn't destroy that, but they destroyed so much other stuff.
Clearly, the problem was that it was not a shop window. Had it been a shop window,
Oh, I mean, it would have exploded from 4 different angles.
Yeah.
Like, glass was not safe in this movie. It was clearly the biggest victim
Yeah.
of anyone, really.
Yeah. Well,
The humans, the robots, neither of them suffered as much as glass.
So to drive this through, the real reason why I love the lasers is because the way like bitchy temptress cigarette needing lady dies is she runs back to the furniture store so her friends could see her,
let's just
and
name
she
her
just
Virgin Slim.
and Virgin Light, all
Virgin
of the flavor with half the cancer. But so she just so Virgin Light, she runs up in front and she just kind of screams at them, and they're like, oh, what is she doing? She is screaming for an awful long time, and then her head just explodes via contact with a laser.
Just everywhere. It's beautiful. It's like an invisible Gallagher just hit her head with a mallet. Blood splatters everywhere, all over the glass.
Like better than scanners, in my opinion.
No, now let's not get crazy.
It really, really dramatically exploded in like a full sphere. Like Scanner's kind of his head explodes outward, and you can see like half his face.
Yeah,
This
that's way
head,
too.
there was
that's way too
nothing
realistic.
left of it. It was just like a neck piece and just blood in every direction. It was really good. It was really good.
Very satisfying.
It really was. Like, it's clearly the movie's centerpiece. Just her head exploding is what this movie was made for. And everything else is just a justification for that shot.
Mhm.
To the point where actually in the end credits where they started like showing the names of all the actors and actresses at the end, the scene they decide to show Virgin Light on is the scene where she explodes. Not only that, her name doesn't pop up until they can freeze frame right on her head becoming emulsified ground beef.
I can only imagine like her watching the premiere of the movie and be like, "Oh, where's my credit?"
Like, no.
Everyone else, you get to see their face while they show their name. Not this lady. You just see viscera. Oh, it's so good. I wish I could frame it. Like that justifies the Blu-ray in of itself. Just like
Oh, absolutely.
I want to see every pixel of that head explosion.
Every penny that was pinched, and there were a lot, went into that effect. It's great. It's great.
Hey, put the money where it matters.
Yep.
And case in point, it's kind of just a slow downward spiral interest-wise from that point. I mean, I guess the next scene where Susie gets killed.
Susie Q.
Susie Q.
Good old Barbara Crampton.
And
Barbecue Crampton.
so we're making this joke because there's a scene the women were originally going to try and escape because the men are going to do the fighting, of course, naturally. Men, meat, Hemis. But
These men?
that was the way it was portrayed.
They were betting on them?
Yep. Well, clearly not Susie Q. Because she just knew that her man was going to need her, and so all the women decided to go back down
That was
from
your
the safety of
excuse.
their air ducts.
That was the excuse. They almost escaped through the air ducts.
Like,
or
but
it's-
wait. He might need me.
Yeah, but like
Which-
the real reason they left is because she was hot in those air ducts.
Yeah,
They had the heat on, and she's like, "Oh, it's just too hot in here. Let's go die in the mall."
clearly.
Yeah. While they were crawling through the vents, Susie Q kept complaining about the heat.
Oh, I thought you just said, I can't take it anymore.
Mm-mm. It was because
It was
of
in
the
reference
heat.
to the heat. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah. She was complaining about the heat the entire time. And, like, she had enough. And she's like, you know what? My man probably needs me. I should die in a fire.
Yeah, and so they end up going to, I guess, like a general or like a car parts store where there's just open cans of gasoline available for your convenient purchase because you can buy open cans of gasoline
I mean, look,
at a mall.
sometimes you just want multiple cans of gasoline to go with your Orange Julius.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Ki-
They end up making some Molotov cocktails to defend themselves against these robots, and clearly it doesn't work because, surprise, fire takes a while to melt metal. And so it just goes right through it, and then the robot uses its lasers again to shoot the canister that Susie Q was holding and sets her on fire. And she was very loud and boisterous about not liking being on fire until she stopped.
Yeah. She
She just got tired of it.
She was very much not into it. Meanwhile, the
She
men,
chilled out.
she definitely did. She burned out a bit. The men, meanwhile, go to a sporting store and get a bunch of assault rifles.
Shotgun?
The shotgun. What's
a
it? The nerd gets a revolver with infinite ammo.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's a 6-shooter, but not when it's in his hands.
And a propane tank.
And a propane tank, which is the only thing that actually worked. Like, they fire so many bullets into the thing and throw the propane tank and shoot it, and it knocks the robot over, and they're like, well, it's probably dead.
Well,
What is
I mean,
that?
It
Is it robot blood?
Okay, so a few things about the robot blood. First, what? Yeah, second, yes, we never saw the robot blood.
We heard it. It had
We-
bloopy noises.
Yes, we heard the bloopy noises, but then, spoiler, we're well past spoilers at this point. After the stupid robot gets back up, because of course it does, there's no blood, there's nothing on it, it's perfectly clean, there's nothing to indicate that it was injured at all. So, what were we hearing? What were they seeing?
Maybe it's like a weird moment of improv. Like, it's dead, I bet it's bleeding. Oh, probably.
And what do robots bleed? Robot blood.
It's definitely robot blood. Want to shoot that again?
Nah, just leave it in.
We already got past the money shot. But anyone who's still watching is just gonna get here for the killing, so let's move on. Susie Q gets burned, which leaves her boyfriend Overbite, I believe? Or is it Feathered Hair?
It was Overbite.
Overbite. Like,
Oh, the guy who I said looks like the rich kid on the other side of the lake at summer camp.
Yes,
he does.
that guy.
Yeah. It was Durbin.
You know who you are.
It's-
So what are some of the other clever ways they die? I think get really sloppy with it after Susie Q gets set on fire, because after that the guy runs up the stairs and like the coast is clear, and then he gets shoved off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That guy just kind of tumbles.
And again, another shot where they have like 4 different angles of him falling, and then we cut to the reactions for him actually hitting the ground.
We do
And
get
then-
to
and then they
see
immediately
the
jump-
body.
We see the body, but we don't get the impact.
Yeah, that would have been, like,
Once-
spectacular.
Once again, something falls, but we don't get to see the damage.
Yeah.
And then the last couple, who's not our young virgin couple, ends up biting the bullet in their last harebrained attempt to try and take down... Oh, wait! No, because before that, they actually finally managed to kill their first of the 3 robots.
That's right.
And guess which robot it is? Robot 2, the one with the blue lasers, a.k.a. our uncomfortably ethnic robot.
That still mystifies me, but my favorite thing about, like, the lead up to that robot dying is that robot gets crafty. It like, gets in the shadows and just kind of, like, shrouds himself. And he, like, waits for the teenagers.
And they don't do anything about it. It's just, like, later on, he's like, okay, I'm bored now, and he comes back out to chase them.
Yeah, he's like, now is the time! And, yeah, he gets trapped in an elevator, and then... I don't know how they managed to, like, rig the elevator to explode and shoot downward.
With science.
With science, yeah. In an out-of-character moment, the nerd girl manages to, like, sharpshoot the gas tank that explodes everything, and just says, "My father was a Marine." This is the only time in which she is both, like, Actually, no, I guess... At the end,
he was responsible for killing at least 2 of them.
He was.
I mean, she is our final girl.
Yes.
Now, I would like to point out, that when they do blow up the elevator, the elevator falls, and we get a rising sound from the soundtrack. the elevator falls, and the sound we get is, which is certainly an interesting choice.
You just reverse that track.
Another word for that is the wrong choice. we have a clearly established sound for something falling, and that's not it.
A falling note.
But I admire their moxie in going for it anyway.
Maybe they originally did have a falling note, and they're like, "Oh, it's too silly." Like it mattered.
No, they did not. They did not put something in this movie and then change it because they were worried. This is too silly.
That's true.
That is not a concern I believe they had.
That was like a difference between like Killbots and Chopping Mall.
If anything, it might be like, oh, I think we put that sound in wrong. It doesn't matter. We're shipping it out now. Go. Nobody will know. Nobody will know.
We can't eat up our like an hour of post-production time on this. I can't even remember how those other 2 die.
They died in the last attempt to take down Robot 3, which, by the way, Robot 1 and 2 get majority of the screen time here. I feel like Robot 3 was sorely left out.
Yeah, Robot 3 doesn't even appear for most of it. Like, I don't know what he was up to the entire time.
I guess he was just guarding the 3rd floor, because the way it was supposed to be set up that, Robot 1 was on floor 1, Robot 2 was on floor 2, Robot 3 was on floor 3.
Wait. As a recap, have we ever seen 2 of the robots in action at the same time?
Yes, but never all 3 together.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe that was it. Like, they had, like, technological limitations in which they had to figure out...
Oh, wait, no, we did. Because remember in that one room, in the master computer room, when they were all sitting together?
Well, they were all sitting together. It's obvious.
They had 3 props for the robots.
But only 2 of them moved.
Yeah. They may not have had 3 functional...
Guys, I think we just solved the mystery of Chopping Mall.
Oh, man.
Mystery solved.
That's how they pinch those pennies.
They pinched those pennies. They only made 2 working robots. Robots. Dang it.
Are you kidding? We can't afford robots. We can only have these robots.
Robots. Yeah. You think that's in the budget? No, but seriously, like, how specifically did, like, the remaining couple die? Which, by the way, they're the least remarkable of, like, one chews gum, one has an overbite, then there was, like, Susie Q in Playboy panties. I can't remember a single thing about the remaining couple.
Oh, that remaining couple, that was the one where, like, he was, like, a manly man, but didn't know how to fix cars, and she knew how to fix cars and was more of a man than he was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was Mom Jean.
Oh, Mom Jeans, yeah.
Yeah.
She had the full Canadian tux on.
Yep. She was all denim.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the way they end up dying is because they're running away while Robot 3 is trying to fire lasers at everyone, and she does the tippy toe tap dance to try and dodge the lasers to make sure her boyfriend's all right. And her boyfriend's like, "What are you doing, you silly fool? Leave!" And then it was too late because she gets shot. And then in a fit of rage, he rides what can best be described as like a motorized tricycle, to ram it into robot number 3.
Like
and apparently that was enough to make it explode.
Like the go-karts from
like,
Space Mutiny.
Yeah, and so like that explosion, I guess, kills him too. It was like I said, the death quality goes way down after Susie Q.
Yeah, like
it really does.
It was super wasted. Like they had 8 characters with 8 possible kills, and like only 4 of them are any good.
Well, we have some other kills as well before the A.
Oh yeah, the janitor gets electrocuted.
Dick Miller.
Yeah.
Hell, his death was more interesting than the last couple.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. As he deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Dick Miller.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, not in the movie.
Makes me very happy that he's still alive. I just learned that.
That is good.
Yeah.
He was like old in this movie. How old is he now? It's crazy.
He's ancient.
Jeez.
But he was in a movie in 2014 called Bat Guy, Dick Miller.
Yeah. I love it. I want to see that.
Put it on the list.
Put it on the
Absolutely.
list. Stick that up there.
Yeah, and so after that, basically it's just Robot 1 left, and Robot 1 was the one who died originally with the robot blood.
Robot blood.
But he got better.
He got better.
Magically.
He used his crab claw to like spring himself back up.
And to clean himself so that we never see any of the robots.
At least that's our best guess. We don't actually see how he gets all new and shiny again.
It'd be great if he like just trailed robot blood. Like that would be a good visual effect. Like, oh, he's on the ropes.
Wouldn't it though? But that would cost money.
It would cost money. You know what? Actually, no. I can solve that. Give me like a budget. Just put a sponge on the bottom of it. Done. I have solved your robot blood problem.
Yes, but then you have to clean it up because you have to return them all.
They clearly do not care about janking up the mall.
So I think what happens next? She goes to hide under like a pet store.
Yeah.
For a while, and that was clearly just an excuse to like put creepy crawlies on a girl who was trying to hide and be quiet.
Yeah, they put 2 tarantulas and 2 snakes on her.
She handled it better than I would.
I would have handled it great too. And she was just kind of like chilling with them.
And I mean I guess it was like a good I don't know. There was nothing. It was clearly an intentional scene, but there was nothing about it that like really the movie wouldn't have been any different had that scene not been there.
I don't know what you're talking about. On her way out, there was a cat jump scare.
Oh, that's right, the cat.
Cat scare.
And also, the movie would have been shorter without that scene. And we have to pad this thing out to movie length.
Yes.
I don't think we mentioned, but Nerd gets shot by the robot. Who cares? That there's a reason the girl is by herself.
Oh yeah.
That's right. It's not that he gets shot. It's that he throws a fire extinguisher at the robot. It doesn't work. The robot uses his minuscule grabby arms to pick it up and sling it back at the dude.
Oh yeah.
And it knocks him out, supposedly dead. Although we find out after our last girl standing finishes off Robot 1 finally, which we'll get to that scene in a second. But after that's all said and done, he comes back.
He got better.
Magically gets better because he found the magic roll of toilet paper that'll soak up all the concussion blood.
Yeah, that's right. Another thing you can buy at the mall.
Look, they bounce back.
They do.
They're still young.
Yeah.
And so really, I guess the final money shot of the scene then is the death of Robot 1. Who would like to have the distinct honor of describing that?
Ooh, I'll try my best.
Now, before you do,
yeah,
there's one other thing that we haven't covered that I feel we need to.
What's that?
The robots have a catchphrase.
Oh no, that's right.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day. Now, as far as catchphrases go for movie killers, not the best I've heard.
For movie robot killers.
for pretty much anything. It's a pretty terrible catchphrase, but it's what the robots say.
I don't know. I like it coming out of a robot mouth. It's like, thank you, have a nice day. It's like, oh, yeah.
It's even better coming out of a robot mouth.
Yeah, robot mouth. Damn it.
Maybe that's one of the distinctions, because I don't remember any mouths at all. I think it was coming out of the same speakers that was blasting
the music. Yeah.
Blasting the music, yeah.
That amelodic, random, like...
Like,
you should get like just a segment, because there's plenty of segments where the robots are just roving around. You just splice some of it just to get a feel for how random it really is.
You got it.
It's like they wanted to go for, a Terminator or John Carpenter style soundtrack, kind of tense but futuristic. And it's like a nervous cat on a keyboard. And
I would say it's more like a nervous cat on a keytar.
Look, I'm going to be honest. While someone else describes the final scene,
Death of Robot 1.
the death of Robot 1, I am going to look on my phone and see if there's a video of a cat on a keytar.
Oh, good.
All right.
I
So,
feel like this is important.
in a very convoluted scene in which they need to get the girl there, final girl falls from the third story of the mall to the first story and lands in like a stuffed animal kiosk. So of course she's kind of fine. She's limping around on like one leg and like tries to hatch a plan, which she does by finding this flare that she put in her cleavage early in the movie. I'm glad that she found that flare at that point and not like mid-horror movie sex scene. That would have been a weird payoff.
Yeah, it would have.
Just like the blouse comes off, it's like, oh, I forgot.
Whoops.
But no, she pulls it out and stumbles towards a paint store that's in a mall. Maybe I've been going to the wrong malls. I've never seen a paint store in a mall before.
I honestly have not either.
And she starts to work and gets like all this acetone and paint and just throws it against the wall.
Shellac,
Black.
wood stain,
Just
Yeah.
all over the wall and the floor.
Yep. Some lighter fluid that was there for some reason.
That's probably what actually would have caught on fire.
Yeah. I mean, imagine the acetone, which is a thing that she poured there, was like the real flammable part of all of it.
Just a big jug of Acme explosion juice. Just everything she could get her hands on.
Comical red sticks of dynamite. So she throws it all.
The usual things you find in a paint store in a mall.
She then screams, and the robot, of course, Robot goes down 2 flights of escalators immediately and is just there in front of the store, ready to kill her. The girl smashed a window in order to get in the paint store. The robot drives through a different window.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Like, I know I'm getting sidetracked.
It's exciting. Watching glass get smashed is exciting.
My favorite scene of glass getting smashed in the movie is when the final girl goes in the pet store, and she does so by smashing the top window and then the bottom window and then going through the bottom window. She did the top one for funsies.
Oh, right. I don't want to climb through that after I break it because there's jagged edges that I'll cut my hand on. Now I will also break this bottom one.
Broken glass. So the robot drives through the paint store and like tries to get to her. She dodges the robot and jumps out the window, and the robot tries to give chase, but no good. The treads are caught on all this paint.
Yes, these all-terrain treads are no match for wet paint.
Yep.
The one time the treads might make sense for these robots, and they don't work properly.
Nope.
Well, that's the thing. These are indoor treads. They're not outdoor treads.
Mm.
When would these robots ever go outdoors?
Never.
They're indoor robots.
Yeah, no one's gonna steal jewelry outdoors. So then the final girl ignites the flare and throws it at the paint store, and God, it really blows up in a way that I'm like, that seems like it caused damage to the mall.
But before she throws it,
Oh yeah!
it says, "Have a nice day."
Thank you. Have a nice day. Draw, and then it just that really caused harm to that paint. That was a lot of explosions. I can't believe the mall is still open.
Like, I could understand if it simply caught fire, but this was a concussive blast of flame. This was, like, they even made a point of resetting up new glass panes so that you could see the glass getting blown by the force of the explosion.
Oh yeah. It's just the miracle of movie making. All the glass is back.
Maybe that was the trick. They knew they could break all the glass because it's the hoity-toity, like, self-reconstructing glass.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mall that built like $1 million robots. I would not put it past them to be like, oh yeah, we got reconstructing glass. What?
And clearly, whatever little budget they had left, that's where they put it, because it was far and away the biggest explosion in the entire piece.
Yeah.
And then after that, nerdy guy wakes back up and was like, nice shot, even though nothing really got shot.
Yeah, that was a weird comment now that I think about it.
Yeah, as far as last lines go, that's a pretty nonsensical one.
Yeah, just hands up, credits. Get to see the girl's head explode again.
Yeah, that...
I love this movie.
It was so much fun. Like, the best thing about it is that it knows why you're watching. It doesn't waste too much time to get there. To get to, like, the robots killing people. And it doesn't pretend to be anything else.
Yeah, I think this movie is very comfortable with what it is, because especially, like, it sets the premise for you at the beginning with that little demonstration. So you're like, okay, these are the robots. This is how it works. The only time where I was a little upset with that was when the robots clearly had this injectable plastic explosive at one point, which was not brought up at any point.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was pretty strange, yeah.
But other than that, they did a really good job of laying out what they could do. They said they had lasers that were capable of crushing through anything. They didn't go into any specifics, which was good, because the lasers had more specifics than the intro exposition could have really provided.
I felt like they were making it up on the spot after a while. They were just like, oh yeah, the lasers they can shoot to blow up, like, the girl's head. Well, it can also get concentrated to cut through metal. Whatever.
It's lasers.
I'm fine. Yeah, exactly. It's the 80s. It's lasers. They do laser things.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't ask too much from Chopping Mall.
True.
I feel like you see a movie on the shelf. It's called Chopping Mall.
Oh yeah.
And you get Chopping Mall. You get the stupid thing that you wanted it to be. Well, true. There's very little chopping.
Yeah, I would say that there is no chopping.
But what it lacks in chopping, it makes up for in mall.
Absolutely. There's a lot of mall.
Do you think this movie succeeds better as a movie titled Chopping Mall or a movie titled, what was it?
Killbots.
Killbots.
Right, so this movie was originally released under the name Killbots, and with that name, it actually did poorly. And then when they changed it to Chopping Mall, for obvious reasons, sales of the movie were much higher.
I mean, Killbots is a more accurate title.
But would you pick up Killbots? No.
Yeah, no, I don't think I would. Like, Killbots sounds...
Actually, I feel like as a movie titled Killbots, there is, like, what is it? 10, 11 deaths?
Easily.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, like I'm not saying that Killbots is inaccurate. I'm saying that Chopping Mall sells you an idea.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a misnomer in context of this movie.
It is, but I think
thematically, it's like, this looks like fun and stupid, and it is.
Exactly. I don't think someone who would rent a movie called Chopping Mall would be disappointed with what they get.
Mm-hmm. Right. They're not coming in expecting like a Sundance Festival film.
Yeah, exactly. They're expecting something that's going to be very stupid, might have some titties, and will almost certainly have a lot of stupid death and stock characters acting like a bunch of idiots. It delivers on that, and it gives you nothing else. It doesn't have a lot of the bad movie staples I've seen. Just characters driving for hours, long discussions about nothing. It gets to the point,
Yeah.
and that's what I enjoy about it.
Even like one of the bad movie stables that it almost had, I thought it handled okay, which is bad flirting.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's true. There was some pretty good bad flirting going on.
It was a pretty good bit, but it didn't spend too much time on it, and it felt like it had some idea of how humans interact.
It did?
Compared to something like Birdemic.
Look, that is the lowest possible bar you could set.
C+ college film right there. Birdemic.
You are a very, very, very gracious teacher.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that ain't a C+.
I was talking like freshman class.
No.
No.
Ooh.
I have seen some freshman class movies that are better than Birdemic.
I said C+. You don't want to fail the poor kids. They're just starting.
You don't want to encourage them if they're trying to have Birdemic.
You know what?
Oh, dropping the truth.
I feel like we're getting off topic here.
So I guess final roundup. I chose this movie because it was an interesting take on the monster movie genre, and it's incredibly 80s. But this is October. Would you recommend this as a Halloween film?
Absolutely, especially since it just came out on Blu-ray. Like, this is something you need in the highest possible quality. You need to add it to your collection, have it forever, and treasure it.
All right.
Yes, absolutely. I plan on getting this on Blu-ray, and I plan on watching it again, and I really hope there's, like, any kind of behind-the-scenes, like, anything.
I am very excited for both of you fine gentlemen to have this on Blu-ray so that I can come over to your house and watch it with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Who's the janitor that died?
Dick Miller.
Dick Miller.
I would love if there
Dick
was
Miller,
like
rest in peace, 2016.
a Dick Miller like commentary track. Like he's only there for like 5 seconds. He's like, oh yeah, these teenagers die here.
I imagine it would be like them dragging him into the studio to record a segment for him, and he's like, "What? Oh, this movie, yeah, this was crap," and that was like his whole thing, and he just walks out.
I don't remember being in this. What do they mean ethnically?
What
do they mean uncharacteristically ethnic?
Dick Miller embraces his reputation. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
That and the fact that he's tremendously entertaining. Go watch Gremlins 2.
It's the Dick Miller appreciation hour.
But yes, I highly recommend this if you like trash.
All right. So I think that settles it. Any other final comments before we close up this very tidy package?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick up some almonds.
taste for almonds.
Maybe
All
an
right.
entire house full.
I don't think we need an entire house of almonds.
No?
I would settle for an apartment.
Alright, well.
Well, you go ahead and get your house of almonds. I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to the Crush Groove. But until next time, this is Drew. That's me. And Matt.
Hi.
And Seth.
Hey.
Signing out. See you guys in
Nothing
2
short of a
weeks.
masterpiece.
That is one big pile of shit.
I think just for the heck of it, we should say the things that we could buy in this mall if we were so inclined. I could buy a bucket of paint.
Several.
An assault rifle.
Yes, a fully automatic assault rifle.
A full king bed.
Yep.
Propane
tank.
Right. Propane tank. I could buy a gasoline canister.
Several.
Whatever
5 or 6.
Whatever a groove crush is. Or is it crush groove?
Crush Groove.
And as many almonds as you could want.
As many almonds as I could fit in that.
Everything
propane
the
tank.
light touches is almonds.
And a chandelier.
and a chandelier.
They hole up in this Italian restaurant that has like
Oh yeah, the one run by Mario Italy.
Mario Italy.
The most Italian person to ever live.
Yeah.
Who
Who
just
paints himself with food regularly.
he just wipes his spatula on his shirt.
And
Just because.
And it's not like it's a cooking smock or anything like that. It's a white undershirt that has just been grimed up by the detritus and filth that has accumulated on his spatula, and he wipes it on like naturally. That's where it goes. I'm a little worried that if he wasn't wearing a shirt, it just would have accumulated on his chest.
It's strange. He seemed to take relish in it because it felt like he wiped off his spatula on his shirt and then he dipped his spatula like back in.
Well,
It's like this is just his thing. He's just like, eh.
well, actually, relish isn't really an Italian food.
So the Italian restaurant